Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Joe. This here is Patrick. We are the Brews Brothers, and we're here once again on Thursdays to talk to you about what's happening here at the New York Beer Project. I did not misspeak. We are here to talk to you folks about hops.
Yeah, it's pouring outside, we're pouring in here, and we're about to give you the lowdown on some hops so that you can kind of understand the whole thing better. So, Joe, what are hops?
Oh, wow, that's a really big question there. So really, hops do a lot for beer. They add head retention, they add aroma, flavor, bitterness. They do a lot for a beer, and not even just your standard big hoppy beer styles, but even the less hoppy ones hops do add a lot of great characteristics to the beers. So if you're trying to think about what a hop looks like and what it envisions and what you're seeing, a hop is actually a tiny bud that looks like a flower, and it grows on a continuously growing vine. Now that is a vine, not a vine. B as in beer. So they grow very similarly to grapes, except they are annual, whereas grapes are perennial. So they grow once a year, and they grow to be 15 to 20 feet tall. So they are a rapidly growing, constantly growing, flower that you could actually, if you spent some time staring at a vine, you could watch it bud. You could see it happen. Of course, you're going to need a little bit of a beer to help really envision things and help the time pass. A lot of patience, but it's a very interesting thing to see.
Yeah.
So like I said, to make that comparison between grapes and hops, they grow very similarly. So when you're talking about hops, you could also make the comparison of how grapes affect wine. Even breaking it down into the separate regions. Now you have wine growing regions in France, of Burgundy and Bordeaux. You have grapes like Pinot Noir, which offer a lot of cherry flavors. You have, Syrahs, which offer a lot of black pepper flavors to the wine that you're going to be experiencing. You have specific grapes that are going to offer a flavor of a wet fox, so I've heard. I've not experienced myself. I don't know what a wet fox tastes like.
Today's the day to smell one.
Yeah, if anybody goes out there happens to find a wet fox, please bring it in so I can smell and maybe taste myself. But I guess really that flavor profile just really makes me enjoy beer a bit more. So speaking of beer, so to make that comparison to wine growing regions, you got to talk about hop growing regions.
Yeah.
So if you're looking at places throughout Germany and Bavaria and everything, we're going to be talking about hats. That is a hats with two S's. Because we're talking about the German noble hops. So this is what's going to be easier to remember them. That is Hallertau, Hoppening, Saaz, and Spalt. So those are all different areas surrounding Germany where you're going to be able to, they grow a lot of these styles of hops. So Hallertau is going to be, produced over in Bavaria areas. It's a highly floral type of hop where you're going to get more of your German and American lagers from, very earthy, mild flavors to it. Hoppening is going to be a very well-known, very high pungent type of hop where you're going to get a lot more of your Belgians and things like that they use for that. Also, obviously, your German beers. Saaz is going to be produced in Bohemia, Czech Republic areas. Again, you're getting more of your spicy, kind of mild flavors, a lot of earthy characteristics to it. And then you have Spalt, which is the Spalter region of Germany, where again, you're going to be producing a lot of the German lagers, this very strong aroma to it. So you're going to get a lot of these great qualities from these hops. And now that I'm rambling, really, that has nothing to do with these beers here. Why don't you tell me about how hops produce and experience our beers?
Let's say hi to Greg first. Hey, Greg.
Sorry, Greg.
Hey, Greg.
Don't mean to get in your way.
Hey, how's it going? It's all right.
Greg's one of our awesome brewers, and he's given us some of this information to relay to you.
Absolutely.
So we can talk about some of the hops that we use in some of the beers here. And I think it's interesting to note, right, that all these different flavor profiles that come from hops, the flowery, the herbal, resiny, spicy, piney, all these, it's really the seasoning of beer. Right?
All of those sound a lot better than a wet fox.
Definitely better than a wet fox. So, for instance, in our Destination IPA, which I have right here, we have Centennial, Citra, Simcoe, and Mosaic hops used in the brewing of this. And they impart flavors of citrus, mango, a little flower character, some earthiness. So you got all these flavors, subtle flavors, and some not so subtle flavors in there that you can experience.
As a man who talks to a lot of guests about the beer here, I always get a lot of questions of how much grapefruit is in the Destination IPA. Clearly there must be grapefruit in there. None at all.
No.
It actually just comes from the hops that are used from it. So you're getting a lot of those flavors that are just coming from those hops. They're amazing things.
Yeah, it's interesting how they come from that, or even how yeast imparts flavor into beer. All these different flavoring agents. So then, our Righteous Dude, which Joe's drinking over here.
I am a dude who loves dude, I must say.
That is for sure. Inside Righteous Dude, we got Citra, Topaz, Cascade, Amarillo, and we use Warrior hops to bitter it, which is another cool thing to talk about, right? I mean, hops have multiple purposes when they're used for beer. You can add flavor and aroma. You can also use them for bittering. And depending on when you use them in the process, they kind of impart different characteristics.
Yeah, so if I could use my culinary degree here, trying to think about it, so the longer you cook something, the more pungent the flavors are going to be, the more you're going to extract some of that bittering kind of agents from it. So if you're adding hops early into the boil, you're going to be experiencing a lot more of the bittering agents from that hop, whereas some of your more lighter, earthy, floral type of hops, you're going to be dry hopping and adding as like almost steeping it like a tea. So you're getting more of the mild kind of citrusy floral aroma aspects from the hops, depending on when you actually impart those hops.
Yeah, and you have such a range to play around with, to impart just different subtle flavors, and it's really interesting to note the science and chemistry that goes into these guys making these recipes so that we can sit here and enjoy them with you.
So pay attention in your chemistry classes, kids.
This is important.
You could one day brew beer.
So you probably would like to come out and try these beers, right? So
Absolutely.
we should maybe tell you about some things that are going on.
The best way to learn about hops is to experience hops. So come out tonight. We're going to have trivia going again. Brews Brothers still once again coming in last place. Please stop out so you could beat us at trivia. One day we'll actually study up on something important and actually maybe do something.
Other than beer,
other than beer, yeah. Or he'll start asking beer questions.
And we'll be good, you'll be in trouble.
Or if you can't make it out tonight, come out tomorrow. We're going to be having Soul Provider here. We've had these folks here several times. They always bring a big rocking crowd, always bringing the funk. It's a great time. Please stop out, come see those guys. I'd also like to give just a big shout out to all of the Jeeps that showed up yesterday for our car show. We did a Jeep featured. We had 55 plus, close to almost 60 Jeeps out in our parking lot.
Thank you, guys.
All bringing them out there, all bringing the big crowds. They're a really fun crowd. We had a great time yesterday. So I'd really like to thank those guys for coming out.
What's the next one?
Yeah, next week we're going to be featuring Pontiacs and Buicks. I am a classics man, so stop out next Wednesday so that you can come and see some of the old classic cars and everything, and then come inside and enjoy a pint on us.
Absolutely. This weekend, I'm going to be out in New York City delivering some Walter's
Now,
Jelly
we fooled people with this
Donut.
before. Are you actually going to be in New York City?
This is for real. We
Okay,
are really
okay.
going to be in
All
New York
right.
City. And I'm delivering that Walter's Jelly Donut. And so if you're going down to check out Fish at all at their Baker's Dozen at Madison Square Garden, come down to American Beauty and hang out with me and try some Walter's Jelly Donut.
Man, that is a tough job you got, isn't it?
Somebody's got to do it.
It really is. But until next time, folks, come out and join us.
See you next
Cheers.
week. Cheers.